My name is Candy Crosby Hastings, and this is a video discussion board for U.S. History 512 at Liberty University. Exodus 23 commands us we are to have no other gods before God. Psalm 118:8 reminds us that we as followers of Christ should take refuge in God, not in other people. However, throughout American historiography, there is often a temptation to venerate America's founding fathers, and even a temptation to nationalism in the interpretation of historical events. Perhaps one of the most well-known public history sites that exhibits this type of veneration is the architect of the Capitol. The United States Capitol is, of course, located in Washington, D.C. However, the beautiful and often inspiring artwork can also be viewed on their website at aoc.gov. According to Dr. Roger Schultz, in the video lecture Historiography and Interpretations, much of the art found at the architect of the Capitol is a type of veneration of the Founding Fathers. It almost makes these Founding Fathers into saints. The purpose of the artwork is that veneration. As such, the artwork can be beautiful and pleasing aesthetically, but not always historically accurate. Much of what is depicted in the architect of the Capitol is symbolic rather than accurate, which has left some questioning the validity and even the value of the artwork. Tanya Pohrt points out in the article Reception and Meaning in John Trumbull's Declaration of Independence that many have viewed this particular painting as a mistake or even as a challenge to authority. According to Pohrt, both Thomas Jefferson and John Adams served as advisors to artist John Trumbull as he worked on the painting. However, the actual number of signers at the signing of the Declaration differs from the number of signers in the painting. Likewise, non-signers, as suggested by Jefferson and Adams, are also portrayed in the painting. According to the information on the Architect of the Capitol website, this was the first of 4 paintings issued by Trumbull. The website also points out another inaccuracy, however, that the architecture depicted in the painting is inaccurate because the sketch on which the work is based was also inaccurate. I want to go here to a second painting. This is also Trumbull's. It is George Washington resigning his commission. This painting is perhaps even more nationalistic rather than just historically inaccurate. If the viewer can see here the depiction of a chair draped in fabric. According to the architect of the Capitol's website, this is representative of a throne draped in a king's robe. This information also states that this was the last of the 4 Trumbull paintings in the Capitol to be finished. Now, perhaps the painting that depicts the most veneration of the Founding Fathers is this one that I'd like to bring up right now. It is called The Apotheosis of Washington. According to Kent Ahrens' article, Constantino Brumidi's Apotheosis of Washington in the Rotunda of the United States Capitol, the artist behind this unique work of art studied in Rome. Little is known about his life prior to arriving in New York in 1852, but it appears that he had been forced to flee Italy due to political upheaval. Perhaps it was his Italian training, but the work of this veneration, I would call it, in the Rotunda of the Capitol appears to mimic Renaissance artists such as Leonardo da Vinci or even more Michelangelo. As the website for the architect of the Capitol states, George Washington, and I quote, this is a quote from the website, is rising to the heavens in glory. He is surrounded by female, perhaps angelic figures. The website explains that those portray liberty. Now, to my eye, there is certainly a connection between this work and religious artwork, perhaps causing the veneration to border on idolatry. In fact, according to the information on the Architect of the Capitol website, the word apotheosis is from the title of the artwork, and it refers to the rising of a person to the level of a god. A visit to the Architect of the Capitol website is certainly important for a class study of any kind of historical artwork. Now, there are many more paintings and statues that time does not allow me to go through in this presentation, but it's something that I know I'll be doing with my sons in our homeschooling. It just has some beautiful artwork. The art, though, also provides 2 lessons, and that first one is to illustrate that art is art. It does not have to be historically accurate. It can be symbolic, and that's perfectly fine. In a way, I guess you could say it could be a type of historical fiction. The second lesson, though, is perhaps even more important. There are times when nationalism has prevailed in historiography. Just as there have been errors in the art and the architect of the Capitol, so there can be errors in nationalistic thinking that venerates historical figures and historical actions. This art serves as an important reminder that we need to accurately represent history in our research and in our presentation.